is an exclusive presentation of the Yes Network. When Aaron Boone sent a Tim Wakefield pitch sailing into the left field stands on an October night in 2003, old Yankee Stadium erupted in delirium. Little did anyone know the far-reaching effects this home run would have on the next decade of Yankees baseball. Hi, everyone. I'm John Sterling, and welcome to a special edition of Yankeeography, the history of the New York Yankees. Boone's blast not only sent the Yankees to the World Series, it also ushered in the beginning of the second century of Yankees baseball, an era of transition and triumph that ultimately led to him becoming manager for the 2018 season. Boone's hiring served as a fitting bookend to a period he helped kick off with his unforgettable home run.
Now we're tied at 5 as we go to the bottom of the 11th. Here's Aaron Boone to lead off.
I was out in the bullpen warming up Jose Contreras, and to be honest with you, when Booney came up to the plate as a teammate, I didn't have a whole lot of confidence. He was having a tough series. He didn't start that game, and Wakefield had been dominating against us. But when he had that swing of the bat, the only question was whether it was fair or foul, and all the Yankee fans let me know it was fair ball.
There's a fly ball deep to left. It's on its way. There it goes. And the Yankees are going to the World Series.
Although the Yankees would ultimately fall to the Marlins in the 2003 World Series, Aaron Boone's dramatic blast became an instant classic moment in the Yankees-Red Sox rivalry. In that offseason, due to a twist of fate, Boone continued to have an impact on the two teams.
So after Aaron Boone hits this dramatic home run off Tim Wakefield, he ends up injuring himself in a pickup basketball game.
The injury left a hole at third base, and after the Red Sox couldn't seal the deal on a blockbuster trade of their own, a shocking solution.
We followed certainly the Boston Red Sox recruitment of Alex Rodriguez from the Texas Rangers and the failed trade. Saw how that all played out, which kind of left a roadmap. It was clear that there was a potential deal here, then quickly we found a way to make a deal happen.
Ladies and gentlemen, number 13, Alex Rodriguez of the New York Yankees. Alex?
Wow. What a reception. I still feel like someone's going to pinch me and wake me up.
The landing of A-Rod was just another blow to the Red Sox at the hands of their hated rival.
They've had this history going on for years and years and years. And more often than not, the Yankees came out on top.
But in the 2004 ALCS, it was the Red Sox who were finally victorious and eventual World Series champions, forever changing the dynamic between the two clubs.
From the Red Sox perspective, it gave them some peace of mind, some success that they could move forward. And from the Yankee perspective, it was devastating. And it was something that you had to find a way to deal with. Find a way to kind of test yourself to come back and try to not let that happen again.
Unfortunately for the Yankees, 2005 saw the beginning of 3 consecutive first-round postseason losses. And although he excelled in the regular season, winning 2 MVPs during that time, A-Rod's postseason struggles became the focus of the Yankees' October woes.
A-Rod did not play well in the postseason, and people just took it to mean that he just couldn't handle the pressure.
Bases loaded, 2 out. A-Rod way behind 0-2. The pitch, breaking ball, strike 3.
A-Rod was not the only one feeling the weight of the early playoff exits, for after 12 incredible seasons as Yankee manager, which included 4 world championships, Joe Torre wouldn't return to the team after the 2007 season.
After 12 years, I guess it was just time to move on. He was still a good manager. He went to the playoffs all the time. But the expectation in the Bronx is to win the World Series, and they hadn't done that.
In what was the final season in Old Yankee Stadium, the new manager was a familiar face, former catcher Joe Girardi. The Yankees were in search of their 27th World Championship in franchise history, and Girardi's goal as manager was as clear as the number he wore on his back.
When he got the job, he chose number 27, and he put the target on his back, literally.
In spite of the lofty goals, the Yankees missed the playoffs altogether in 2008, ending their remarkable run of 13 consecutive postseason appearances.
It was stunning. The Yankees aren't in the playoffs. It was just, you got so accustomed to it. And I think that's really the first time where people realize, hey, that's over. We need to close the book on that and go on with something new.
Coming up on the history of the New York Yankees.
We just want to take this moment to salute you, the greatest fans in the world.
We now return to Yankeeography, the history of the New York Yankees.
It's a huge honor to put this uniform on every day and come out here and play. And every member of this organization, past and present, has been calling this place home for 85 years.
A home that hosted 26 championship seasons, including the team's first in 1923. At the same time, Yankee Stadium had been host to some of the most iconic moments in baseball history.
I consider myself the luckiest man on the face of the earth.
And while no stadium could ever compete with the unforgettable moments Yankee Stadium witnessed, it was apparent that the house that Ruth built had become outdated.
To compete in the modern era, you needed modern amenities for the fans and other ways to make money as well. And Yankee Stadium, as great as it was an old stadium.
With that in mind, ownership made the decision to move forward on a new Yankee Stadium. And what better place to build it than right next door?
As they say, the ghosts of the old stadium didn't have to go very far to travel to the new stadium. It wasn't even a subway stop. They'd just walk across the street.
As construction was underway on the new stadium, Alex Rodriguez couldn't wait to check out his new home.
Now, is it actually square footage bigger than this one?
500,000 square feet larger. This one is 851,000 square feet. That's 1,351,000.
Oh, my God.
Okay, this is all limestone and granite. The limestone.
That's gorgeous. I mean, my God. To hit it onto the bleachers is still the same distance.
Still the same.
The bullpen's over there too, and the bleacher creatures, where they're gonna be?
They're gonna be. We put them in the same spot.
Same place. Again, you can't say enough about the stadium. The fact that the dimensions are gonna be the same. We're gonna bring up Monument Park over.
So, what's your initial reaction?
Oh my God! Forget about it. It's the nicest stadium I've ever seen in my life.
But before A-Rod and the rest of the Yankees could enjoy the new stadium, they had to say a proper goodbye to the old one. Something that occurred during the final night at Old Yankee Stadium. The Bronx faithful, as well as players past and present, bid farewell to one of baseball's most cherished cathedrals. And of course, the Yankees closed out the old stadium the most appropriate way with a win. Then it was the captain's turn to give fans one more lasting memory.
I knew I wanted to acknowledge the fans, but I really didn't know what I was going to say. So I just sort of winged it.
We're relying on you to take the memories from this stadium, add them to the new memories that come at the new Yankee Stadium, and continue to pass them on from generation to generation.
I thought that was one of Derek's shining moments. He showed you in every regard what a captain should be.
So on behalf of the entire organization, we just want to take this moment to salute you, the greatest fans in the world.
I thought, man, this is a good way to close this stadium. Let's move on to the new one, see what we can do across the street here.
Coming up on the history of the New York Yankees.
The Yankees are back on top, world champions for the 27th time.
Welcome back to Yankeeography, the history of the New York Yankees. A new Yankee Stadium wasn't the only change for the organization in 2009. For after over 3 decades as head of the franchise, George Steinbrenner passed control of the Yankees to his son Hal, before the start of the season. In boss-like fashion, Hal would oversee one of the busiest off-seasons in club history in an effort to right the ship after missing the playoffs the previous season.
I think after 2008, it was such a disappointment for the Yankees that their ownership was very willing to spend some money and say, we need to change this. We need to change this dynamic.
My family believes that we have a commitment every single year to our fans to field a championship caliber team.
They go out and they add CeCe Sabathia, they add A.J. Burnett, Mark Teixeira.
This is a great day for me. My goals are the same goals as the Yankees, and that's to win a World Series.
In the first year of new Yankee Stadium, the Bombers were fully reloaded to begin their quest for championship number 27. And over the course of the season, they would win 103 games, often in dramatic fashion.
There's a drive. The Yankees are walking off again.
3 walk-off wins for the Yankees, and another mob at home plate at the new house.
I remember the lineup, the way we never let down. We kept coming and coming.
Here comes Cano. The Yankees have come back to win another.
That one's drilled deep to left field. There it goes. See ya! A walk-off 2-run home run for Alex Rodriguez.
Walk-off wins energized the team, as did the return of Alex Rodriguez, who missed the month of April after hip surgery. Complicating matters was a troubling admission in spring training.
In the year 2001, 2002, 2003, I experimented with a banned substance that eventually triggered a positive test. I've made a lot of mistakes in my life. The only way I know how to handle them is to learn from them and move forward.
A force in the lineup after rehabbing his hip and continuously rehabbing his reputation, Alex helped the Yankees surge back into the postseason. Now he was looking to erase his playoff failures of the past.
I think from the moment Alex Rodriguez became a Yankee, his dream was to be able to say what so many other Yankees have said. I'm a world champion. I've got a World Series ring on my finger.
Fly ball center field. Well hit. At the track. He's done it again.
And finally in 2009, the A-Rod that we had seen so often in the regular season also produced in the postseason.
And it is gone. Alex Rodriguez has tied the game. 2 home runs, 6 RBIs in this series.
He knew that he was going to be defined by his postseason success as a Yankee. He needed that validation, and he got it in a big way.
It is high. It is far. It is gone. He's done it again.
It is the 3rd time in the playoffs that A-Rod has hit a game-tying home run.
If there was an MVP for the entire postseason, it had to be Alex. He didn't just get the monkey off his back, he threw it like 100 yards off his back.
A-Rod carried the Yankees to the World Series, but as they faced off against the Phillies, it was Hideki Matsui who would shine the brightest.
There's a shot into right. Back at the wall, 2-1 New York.
1-2 pitch in the right field seats. A thriller by Godzilla.
And with a chance for the Yankees to clinch the series at home, Matsui was ferocious in a monster Game 6.
Swung on and hit in the air to right. That ball is high. It is far. It is gone.
2-0 New York.
What was interesting about Matsui's performance in the 2009 World Series is he was probably in his final games as a Yankee. But there was Matsui not worrying about that, not thinking about that, and focusing on the moment.
Swinging line drive in the center field base hit.
Jeter scores. Here comes Damon. The throw is cut off. 4-1 New York. 4-1 Matsui.
Didn't look like he was going to make it out in Game 6. I mean, every single chance he had to drive on a run, he did. And that's where he kind of grabbed the MVP by the throat.
It is high. It is far. It is off the right center field wall. Teixeira scores. A-Rod scores.
And Matsui-san has 6 RBIs.
When he has this amazing Game 6, ends up being the World Series MVP, it's one of the best exclamation points that anyone could ever have to the end of a Yankee career.
Till 2009, the Yankees had not been in the World Series since 2003. So they last won it in 2000 over the Mets. Rivera to Victorino. To the second baseman, Cano. The Yankees are back on top.
Ball game over. World Series over. Yankees win. The Yankees win.
It was a perfect ending to the inaugural season of the new Yankee Stadium. A 27th World Championship, and the Yankees back atop the baseball world.
When you work a whole season and you've got the group of guys that you got, the ultimate goal is always that World Series. And whenever you're able to accomplish it, it's a great feeling to be able to work that hard and to get it done.
It's good to be back. This is right where it belongs.
Coming up on the history of the New York Yankees.
3,000 history with an exclamation point.
We now return to Yankeeography, the history of the New York Yankees. After hosting a championship in its inaugural season, new Yankee Stadium played host to a series of historical moments and achievements from some of the franchise's most iconic players. Coming off the heels of a heroic playoff performance, Alex Rodriguez entered the 2010 season just 17 homers shy of 600, and by August, he stood on the precipice of history.
High drive, center field, deep, going back Wells, looking up, see ya!
He's done it. Alex Rodriguez becomes the 7th player in Major League history to hit 600 home runs.
4 seasons later, he found himself knocking on history's door once again. Sitting on 2,999 hits, A-Rod dug in.
Swung on and hit in the air to deep right field. That ball is high. It is far. It is gone.
He did it in style. He joins the 3,000 hit club with a home run.
Alex Rodriguez, 3,000 hits, 667 home runs. One of the greatest careers any player's ever had.
Perhaps the most impressive milestone ever achieved in the new stadium was also the most predictable. On a sunny day in 2011, with 601 career saves, Mariano Rivera was just 3 outs away from becoming baseball's all-time saves leader.
It'll be an 0-2. Mariano is set, and the pitch is strike 3. He's got it.
He took it upon himself to be great every day that he was there, the greatest ever. Mariano, there will never be another Mariano Rivera.
Ball game over, Yankees win, and it's perfect because the greatest closer in history now has the most saves in history. And they push him out to the mound where he could soak in the adulation of the crowd.
But without question, the most anticipated milestone came courtesy of the captain. As Derek Jeter's career progressed, there was no question he would reach 3,000 hits. But for Jeter, where the milestone would be reached was just as important as the feat itself.
Wherever you do it is fine, but I felt as though it wouldn't be right unless I did it here in New York. I wanted to experience it with the Yankee fans.
There was an awful lot of pressure on him because he was running out of time to do it at Yankee Stadium. There was a road trip that was on the horizon, and he knew he had to bang it out, and you had David Price on the mound.
Grounded through for a base hit. He's 1 away.
Now I only need 1.
Just 1 hit away, Derek Jeter was poised to make history. But for a player who earned his reputation for having a flair for the dramatic, not just any hit would do.
I wanted to hit the ball hard. I didn't want a jam shot that's played over and over again. I mean, where it went, I didn't care, just as long as I made good contact.
Derek got his first hit on May 30th of 1995. 17 years later, we stand at the precipice of history. It's the 3-2. That one's drilled deep to left field. Going back Joyce, looking up. See ya! 3,000. History with an exclamation point.
Everything happens so quickly. You feel a sense of relief, and then you can't believe what just happened.
Derek Jeter has achieved another milestone in his Hall of Fame career. Hit number 3,000 came as part of a 5-for-5 day for Jeter. The final hit, driving in the eventual winning run in the bottom of the 8th.
The fairy tale just keeps getting sweeter.
A rippy base hit, and the Yankees take a 5-4 lead.
It was one of the most special days I've had in a Yankee uniform, and I've had a lot of them. But from a personal standpoint, it might have been the most special.
Welcome back to Yankeeography, the history of the New York Yankees. Between the years 2004 and 2017, the Yankees said goodbye to key figures in Yankees history. Their passing reminded fans, players, and the organization how much they meant to the fabric of the team. In 2010, Bob Shepard passed away. He was the voice of Yankee Stadium for 56 years. Shepard's distinctive voice echoed around the stadium for 22 pennants and 13 World Series, contributing to the storied tradition of the Yankees.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Yankee Stadium.
In 2017, the Yankees family lost Gene Michael. The former Yankee shortstop, who also spent time as their manager, was perhaps best known as the architect of the Yankee dynasty in the 90s.
Gene Michael's Stick's impact was off the charts. I mean, he took over and helped rebuild the system, which ultimately led to a 96, a 98, a 99, a 2000.
In 2008, Bobby Mercer passed away. Mercer was a 4-time All-Star as a member of the Yankees and was one of the most popular players of his era. When he retired from baseball, he joined the Yankees broadcast team and called games for the next 25 years. In 2007, we said goodbye to Phil Rizzuto, the Scooter, one of the most beloved Yankees of all time.
The Yankees and their legion of fans tonight have heavy hearts as the organization and all of baseball are mourning the passing of Yankee great Phil Rizzuto.
Rizzuto was the shortstop in the Yankees dynasty of the 40s and 50s, capturing 7 World Series titles and an MVP in his 13-year career.
Scooter Phil Rizzuto is again the spark plug and the hub of the Yanks' strong defensive infield.
But it was perhaps after his playing career that cemented Rizzuto's place in Yankees history, as he moved to the broadcast booth and spent 38 years calling games in his own unique style.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to New York Yankee Baseball. I'm Bill White. Wait a minute.
He was a champion as a player. And then, for people of my age, his voice was in my house every single night.
Hey, that's it! Holy cow, he did it!
When you enjoy something so much, enjoy doing it. The time goes too fast.
One of Phil Rizzuto's closest friends, Yogi Berra, passed away 8 years later on September 22nd, 2015. Much like Rizzuto, Yogi was beyond compare.
At this time, ladies and gentlemen, we ask everyone to join us in a moment of silent prayer as we remember number 8, Yogi Berra.
Yogi was a 3-time MVP with a record 10 World Series rings, including 5 straight from 1949 to 53.
Yes, sir, the Bombers did it again. 5 World Series in a row. They made baseball history.
Yogi later found success as a manager and led both the Yankees and the Mets to a World Series.
There was only one Yogi. He was an original, and, there'll never be another one like him.
The force behind the New York Yankees passed away in July of 2010. George Steinbrenner, the boss.
George Steinbrenner might have been as important to the New York Yankees as any player ever put on the uniform. I mean, what he did, how he transformed the franchise, what he made the franchise into. There are many owners in the history of sports like this guy.
I have a sign on my desk that says lead, follow, or get the hell out of the way. And if I'm the leader, I'm going to be the leader, and I'm going to lead him to the best of my ability.
What he brought to the game was that this organization, through him, set the example of how an organization should be run, how it should carry itself. the commitment it should have to its fans and its city.
His idea with success was win, and he thought we should win every game. But his demand for excellence was one that permeated the clubhouse, permeated the organization.
He added more to the trophy case. He created a network, the new stadium. You know, he took the Yankees and made them better. It's almost impossible to do.
Steinbrenner owned the Yankees for 37 years, and during that time, the team captured 7 World Series titles and 11 pennants. The success of the franchise under his reign earned the boss a spot among Yankee greats.
The family will now unveil the George M. Steinbrenner III Monument.
We now return to Yankeeography, the history of the New York Yankees. Today is one of those special days that only the Yankees can give you.
My heart is like, it's gonna come out of my chest.
Since 1932, the New York Yankees have honored their all-time greats with the dedication of monuments and plaques. Fittingly, key members of the Yankee championship teams from the 90s and 2000 were enshrined in Monument Park, reminding fans of all that was accomplished during this new golden age.
The Yankees championship teams of the 90s and 2000 were known for the heart and hustle they played with, and nobody embodied that more than Paul O'Neill.
It's one of the biggest honors you could ever get as a player because it's the New York Yankees, and you see the other names that are involved.
When you play, you never think that you're gonna be a part of the elite players of the Yankees. When you go to Monument Park in Yankee Stadium, you see the greatest of all.
Oh my God, I can't believe this.
The ceremonials provided Yankee fans with memories that will never be forgotten.
You're the best, buddy. Thank you, brother. All right? Thank you.
Much like the improbable career finales of 2 Yankee immortals.
Fans were kind of not waiting for that moment, but not wanting to see that moment in a sense, and it started, as we know, with Mariano Rivera.
Greatness coming into the Yankee game for the final time here in the Bronx.
Seeing everybody on their feet, I was trying to contain myself and try to do my job.
Swung on, grounded back to Mo. It's the first one away.
Joe comes to me, I think in around the 6th inning, and tells me, I got an idea. What do you think about you and Derek going out and taking, Mo out of the game?
A high pop to second. And Robbie makes the catch, and they're 2 away.
Mo has one more out to get in the Bronx.
Derek's looking at me, and I'm looking at him like, what do you think? And he's like, I don't know. I mean, maybe we should do it. I'm like, well, all right.
How's this for drama?
Andy Pettitte and Derek Jeter are coming out to make the move.
I knew they were coming out to get me out, and everything changed there. Everything, I lost it. I couldn't hold no more.
Mariano Rivera was so overcome with emotion and plenty of tears as well.
They were the 2 brothers that I had on the team. For them to be there at that moment, it was huge for me. I needed them at that time there more than ever.
Got a dry eye in the house, and everyone standing and applauding. Everyone. Wow, something. It really is something.
It was great the way it ended. It was beautiful the way it ended.
Mariano's career in the Bronx is over.
Just 1 year later, the Yankee Stadium crowd once again said farewell to an iconic player.
20 years as a Yankee, 5 world titles, and tonight, the final home game.
I've been doing this for parts of 20 years here in New York. It's more than half my life, so it's a long time to be doing something that you love to do, and then when you get towards the end, it can get emotional.
He seems to be taking it in, looking around the ballpark, taking deep, heavy breaths.
But Jeter composed himself for when it mattered most as he walked to the plate for his final at-bat at Yankee Stadium. Could the Yankee captain provide one last magical moment?
Here's Derek Jeter with the winning run at second. I know what you're thinking. It would be true Hollywood if Jeter gets a base hit to win the game.
When you're a teammate of Derek Jeter's, he's the guy you want up there in a big spot to get the big hit because you know the expectations and the pressure will not overwhelm him.
Well, the script is there. The last page is in Derek's hands. Base hit to right field. Here comes Richardson. Here's the throw for Markakis. Richardson is safe. Derek Jeter ends his final game with a walk-off single.
Yankees win. The Yankees win.
Derek Jeter, where fantasy becomes reality. Did you have any doubt?
I will never forget that day. It was in a special day, just us being there, coming out after he got the hit. Everybody embraced him. His little nephew tipping his cap to him is just a perfect ending for his career.
I want to thank everyone here. I've said it time and time again. Everybody's chanting, thank you, Derek, and thinking to myself, for what? You know, I'm just trying to do my job, so thank you guys.
Welcome back to Yankeeography, the history of the New York Yankees. When Derek Jeter retired in 2014, the last vestige of the 90s dynasty faded to memory. And in the years since the 2009 championship, despite 4 playoff appearances, the team had not enjoyed the sustained postseason success long associated with the organization.
There's still kind of a hanging on of what our philosophy is. Are we still trying to win? Are we in full rebuild mode? Are we going to be retooling rather than rebuilding?
This is a pretty difficult sport to continue to produce talent over and over and over. So the hope is you always have somebody that's ready to step up and be promoted and take their rightful spot. But in reality, it doesn't have to work that way, so you have to go to marketplace.
To ease the transition, the Yankees focused on free agents with youth and upside, beginning with a 25-year-old starting pitcher imported from Japan.
Welcome to New York, Tanaka-san.
When the Yankees signed him, Masahiro Tanaka's resume included a dominant 2013 season in Japan, where he pitched to a 24-0 record and a 1.27 ERA.
We're really excited to bring him to Major League Baseball, to test those abilities and be part of a group of players and teammates that will hopefully make this town proud for the next number of years.
Meanwhile, 2 lesser-known free agents the Yankees signed as teenagers out of the Dominican Republic were making their way through the minor leagues.
Strike 3. 7 strikeouts for Severino. He's got 1 in each inning.
Deep to left field. That is a no-doubter off the bat of Gary Sanchez.
Gary Sanchez and Luis Severino were being groomed in the system to be the future battery mates in the Bronx. But when it came to replacing Derek Jeter at shortstop, the solution lay outside the organization.
We did not have somebody ready to go, so we had to go to marketplace and make a very difficult decision to acquire Didi Gregorius from the Arizona Diamondbacks and bet on him.
He's got the completely unwinnable chore of playing shortstop in the immediate days after Derek Jeter.
When he first got here, and I worried, for him or anybody that was going to come in here to try to fill Derek Jeter's shoes, it's a pretty impossible task. But he handled himself perfectly as a person and started to get some positive performance.
Line drive, caught by Didi.
What a play by Gregorius. He's been getting better and better. He's the replacement for a legend here with the Yankees.
He hasn't looked back since.
By 2016, Gregorius, Tanaka, and Severino were key contributors to an up-and-coming Yankee team.
Swing and a miss. 9 strikeouts for Severino.
And Gary Sanchez's debut later that season was one for the record books.
High drive into left center. Looking up. See ya. Another home run for Gary Sanchez.
Oh.
There it goes. See ya. His second home run of the night.
Everybody know what he did when he came up.
19 home runs in 45 games, the quickest to 19 in the history of baseball. His 20th of the year.
20 homers in just 2 months, and it was unbelievable. We said, well, if he can do this in just a couple months, just what can he do in the entire season? That's what you want from all you guys to come up and try to be successful. He was one of those guys that stepped up really big.
With a shift in focus toward the future, the Yankees knew it was time to make a difficult choice. In order to free up playing time, veterans were asked to step aside. Mark Teixeira announced his retirement in August. A few days later, so did Alex Rodriguez.
This is a tough day. I love this game, and I love this team. And today, I'm saying goodbye to both.
Alex Rodriguez's Yankee career included the highest of highs.
The Yankees are back on top. World champions for the 27th time.
And the lowest of lows that one player could possibly experience.
The story of the day is Alex Rodriguez, suspended for 211 games.
He either took or acquired steroids in 2010, 2011, and 2012.
Making his Yankee legacy a complicated one.
Alex Rodriguez had a larger-than-life personality, a star personality.
Personally, he did everything anybody ever dreamt of.
Number 600, the youngest man ever to get to 600 home runs.
It's numbers that average players and even really good players don't reach. Only the superstars do.
He still got suspended for a year. There was a lot of hatred from fans, and he was at rock bottom. But I guess fans, when it's all over, they look at the overview, and they have to have warm feelings about 2009.
He had some great moments here. And then he's also been very vocal about the fact that he's made mistakes in his career, and there are things he would like to take back. Fans will remember that, and I think it's going to take time for the thawing to really happen.
I'm going to be hopefully remembered for someone who tripped and fell a lot, but someone that kept getting up.
Coming up on the history of the New York Yankees.
All rise, here comes the judge.
We now return to Yankeeography, the history of the New York Yankees.
There's a confidence about this team and optimism.
All the excitement about the young guns, the baby bombers are going to make an impression.
High hopes here in 2017.
Although excitement was high for what this talented group of young Yankees could accomplish, conventional wisdom said 2017 was a year to gain experience, not contend for a title. However, these Yankees were anything but conventional.
That one is drilled deep to left field. See ya! A tie game!
It is gone! A game-winning walk-off, 3-run home run.
There it is! Base hit! And the Yankees win 2-1. The Yankees continue to win at an alarming rate.
I was very surprised. I mean, there weren't expectations that this team was going to do anything. There were a lot of question marks, and I think they thrived with that freedom.
And they have now won 8 straight.
Sole possession, first place in the American League East.
The Yankees' success in 2017 was due in part to the emergence of Luis Severino as the team's ace.
Swing and a miss. Strikeout number 6 for Severino.
Severino pitched to a 3.08 ERA with 230 strikeouts, earning him a third-place finish in Cy Young Award voting.
Swing and a miss.
And if there was one baby bomber presiding over the team's offensive charge, it was the 6'7", 282-pound Tower of Power.
Aaron Judge in a line drive into the visitors' bullpen.
Judge's second home run of the night.
His power is unbelievable.
That is absolutely clobbered. Good gosh, where is that going to land? Oh my, what a bomb.
There it goes. Deep to left, really deep. See ya. Oh my goodness, what a shot. That almost hit a retired number.
This is sick. I'm telling you, this is so much fun to watch.
Third day I go out there, if it's BP or during the game, I'm focused on, one thing and one thing only, and that's to help the team win the game.
Aaron Judge hits his 52nd, his 114th RBI. All rise, here comes the judge.
Behind Judge's 2017 Rookie of the Year performance, the Yankees were back in the playoffs as one of 2 AL wildcard teams, but in the one-game playoff against the Twins, they got down early.
It is gone, and it is 3-0 Minnesota here in the first inning.
You're down 3-0. A lot of people say, yeah, the game is already over, but we never give up. You know, that's the way we play the game. You got to keep battling because, like they say, it's 27 hours.
Gregorius makes Yankee fans euphorious.
What was it like? I mean, look at me getting goosebumps right now.
This place is electric. Didi getting them on their feet.
It was the loudest I've ever heard the fans cheer. It feels like the stadium was shaking. It was unbelievable. So, I mean, it was a good feeling for me and for the team because we tied the game. We got right back into it.
Finally, it sounded like the old Yankee Stadium. I think we all have missed the electricity and the energy from the old stadium.
Behind their fans and their inspired play, the Yankees won the wild card game and then the division series. But in the ALCS against the Astros, they got down 2-0 and returned home looking to get back in the series.
A two-run double, one of the greatest rallies I've ever seen. Struck him out swinging. Strikeout number 5 for Massa.
Yankees win it, and the Yankees are up 3-2. One win away from the World Series.
Unfortunately, that was as close as they would get.
Springer says he's got it. The Houston Astros win the pennant.
Despite losing Game 7 and coming up one win short of another World Series, 2017's ahead-of-schedule success gave fans reason for optimism.
Believe me, the Yankees will be knocking on the door in years to come. They got the team to do it, and they will build off this terrific run in the playoffs.
I thought we assembled a talented roster that had real high ceiling. It's just when were they going to be able to tap into that ceiling? Thankfully, it played out in 2017, and it was a really exciting run.
Even though everybody doubted us, but we don't worry about what people say. It's what we can prove on the field, so that's what we're trying to do, and that's what we did last year.
And the offseason heading into 2018 was a busy one, beginning with a shakeup at the managerial position. After 10 seasons as skipper of the Yankees, Joe Girardi's contract was up, and the Yankees decided it was time to part ways. In his time as manager, Girardi won 910 games, good for 6th highest in team history, steered the team to a 27th World Championship, and became just the 3rd Yankee to win a World Series as both a player and manager. And when it came to finding a new voice to lead this generation of Bomber baseball, the Yankees reconnected with a familiar face.
Someone we're extremely happy to bring back to the New York Yankees, Aaron Boone. Went through the interview process and started interviewing a lot of high-quality candidates, and Aaron Boone came out of that as by far a unanimous opinion that this would be a tremendous leader as we move forward.
Obviously, this is a team with loads of talent, but what I'm most looking forward to is to just help this club take the next step as we start out embarking on the 2018 season.
But the Yankee offseason was far from finished.
It is big news. The Yankees have reached a deal to acquire Giancarlo Stanton.
The Yankees are always interested in adding marquee players, and Giancarlo Stanton fits right into that mold. And who would not want the National League MVP in your lineup?
A lot has transpired in the Bronx since Aaron Boone hit that iconic home run in the 2003 ALCS.
During that time, from 2003, 2004 to the present, really good baseball, a lot of stars, a lot of great moments. We've seen some unbelievable things during the stretch that will live forever. When the history of baseball is written, a lot of the stuff that's happened during this time is going to be prominent.
You've seen some great players leave the team. Now you're seeing some that have the potential to be as great as those players or even better join the team.
I think the fans are really invested, and they know that this is a team that could potentially be built to win year after year after year.
Mr. Steinbrenner used to say that New York deserves a winner. The exciting thing about the Yankees now is you look at the talent that they have on the field and the talent they have coming up. This team should be good for a long time.
This new generation of Yankees have yet to achieve great success. But the story of the new youthful core of Judge, Sanchez, and Severino will be told in years to come. Can they match the feats of the core four? Will Giancarlo Stanton help deliver a title? Those answers are for future Yankeeographies. What is clear is that the Yankees will always have great tales to tell as they strive to add to their unprecedented legacy and collection of championships. For the Yes Network, I'm John Sterling, and thanks for watching Yankeeography.
The proceeding has been an exclusive presentation of the Yes Network.